first night in Baghdad, 7 months after Bush declared the end of the war. From where I was standing, that sounded a bit premature. According to the US government, though, I had nothing to fear. They were still claiming there was no such thing as a resistance, just a bunch of dead-enders.
Of course. I'm glad none of the foreign press corps are here to see this. Just run into the bathroom. There's quite a lot of firing going on.
From the big town.
I haven't had this much fun since I was in Afghanistan.
107.7 Baghdad.
You know, I say this every night on my syndicated sports talk radio show, that the members of the United States military are the real heroes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got him. We got him.
Freedom Radio on 107.7 FM, Baghdad.
How are you? How are you? It's more friendly here, less road rage. People very friendly. Why is there so much traffic in Baghdad?
Because many streets close the American.
The Americans have closed the streets.
Yeah.
I went to Baghdad to find out if the resistance was a real threat or just the remnants of the former regime. In the months before my arrival, there'd already been a wave of massive suicide attacks on major targets in Baghdad, and early signs of an armed Sunni resistance in the surrounding countryside. Well, that was an American patrol on traffic duty. They're driving around the streets of Baghdad and with a tannoy telling people to drive on the right-hand side of the road, to queue up properly at the petrol stations and not to buy black market petrol. But when I say traffic duty, this being Baghdad, someone just pulled out in front of them and they opened fire. The war had been won thanks to careful planning. But 7 months into the US occupation, and Iraq's infrastructure was crumbling. Unfortunately, America's plans hadn't extended to winning the peace. This petrol queue stretches back hundreds of meters. It's just by one of the central mosques here in Baghdad. The biggest danger in Baghdad is from getting run over, not from getting shot at. Are you waiting here for petrol?
I'm waiting here. There is no gas, no cholesterol, no oil, because the electricity, there is no electricity.
The continuing shortage of petrol in what was the world's second largest supplier of oil is perhaps the biggest testament to the failure of the coalition's reconstruction efforts. But it isn't just petrol that's scarce. There is a shortage of nearly all basic necessities.
You're with Kim on Freedom Radio, and I just want to remind you that if you're riding around in any vehicles, make sure that you're wearing your seatbelt.
Well, that's one way to beat the traffic.
USA.
Huh?
USA.
Yeah?
USA, good.
You like
no
it?
Saddam. USA, good. Freedom, USA.
Thank you. Shukran.
Yes, good.
I was just driving to the Coalition Provisional Authority Centre, and the road's been blocked. And they found a mortar device. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Do they live around here?
Yes.
What's the situation like here?
كان أمان. الناس ماكو أمان. قبل كان أمان. هسه ماكو أمان نهائيا. حتى ما سووا شيء الامريكان اي شيء ما سووا
الاكل غلاء على عينتهم ابو حرب وبس مع ذلك متوفر كل الامكانيات.
قيمه الغاز 250 هسه 5000.
كنا نقدر نطلع هسه احنا بنريد نطلع نطلع كوما ويانا شبابكم ويانا ليش مو امان ماكو امان.
Well, it's getting dark now, so I'll let them go.
يقول لي اذا صارت ظلمه يعني صارت ظلمه اذا تريد تروحون براحتكم. At 7 o'clock we just come back to our home.
Yeah, okay. شكرا جزيلا.
تسلمون مع السلامه.
Despite the problems, I had expected most Iraqis to welcome their new life of freedom. But then, what's the point of freedom if it's not even safe to walk the streets? There's not only a lack of basic necessities in Iraq, there's no effective rule of law, no accountability, and no democracy. I could understand the frustrations, but there was something far more sinister afoot, something I couldn't understand.
أي أن يقع الإرهاب والتخويف والرعب من حيث لم يحتسبوا.
The Imam was calling on Iraqis to rise up and kill the American occupiers, just a few blocks down the road from the headquarters of the American-led coalition authorities.
Sorry, British press. I'm recording this. Imam. What's wrong?
الذين يمشون على الأرض حولها وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلام حتى قال ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق.
I'm making a documentary about the situation here in Baghdad. Sorry, what's the problem? Sorry.
Like a lot of Iraqis, the Imam seemed to think the American army and the Israeli army were one and the same thing. A month later, the Imam was imprisoned for inciting violent insurrection.